Welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Lüning, Horst Lüning, and I'm the master taster of Whisky.com. Today I present the Springbank 10-year-old single malt whiskey, and tomorrow you find here the 15-year-old. The 10-year-old single malt whiskey from Springbank is the standard bottling of Springbank, and the Springbank distillery is situated in the town of Campbeltown, which is the capital town of the peninsula Kintyre. It is on the west coast of Scotland in the east of the Isle of Islay. It's situated between the mainland and the Isle of Islay. Springbank was shut down in 1982 due to the big British recession, and reopened in 1988, and in 1998 the first 10-year-old appeared, and the cask selection, I'm afraid, wasn't that good in the beginning. But now, 10 years or 15 years later, the cask selection has improved very much, and the 10-year-old Springbank is a outstanding single malt whiskey in Scotland. And the region of Campbeltown, where only 3 distilleries reside, has its own region and naming convention by the Scotch Whisky Association. Springbank has 3 stills, so they are able to distill 3 times, as it is said to be typical for the lowlands, but in the highlands there are more distilleries with 3 stills than in the lowlands. And they're able to distill twice, and in between. The Springbank whiskey is said to be distilled 2.5 times. That means the output from the second still is mixed together with the output of the third still. So there is a more intense whiskey from the 2-path distillation mixed with the clearer, less intense whiskey from a 3-part or time distillation. This is the specialty of Springbank, and there are 2 other distillates from Springbank. There's the Longrow. I think I had one already. Yeah, and the Hazelburn, which is 3 times distilled. The Longrow is 2 times distilled, the Hazelburn 3, and the Springbank in between, which is the most popular whiskey from the distillery named Springbank, is 2.5 times distilled. But the amount of whiskey which is 2 times distilled is bigger than the one 3 times distilled into this final whiskey. There are whiskies from the Springbank distillery which is produced with a lot of peat smoke in it. It's called Longrow, and the Hazelburn with no peat smoke in the barley or in the whiskey. And the Springbank whiskey is produced with a partly peated malt. The barley is dried over fire, and this drying process takes 1 day and 6 hours. On average, depends on the wetness of the barley, and a full day they dry it with a clean fire, and 6 hours the fire has added peat, so that the peat smoke dries the barley, and the phenols from the peat smoke rest on the open corn, and is in this way brought into the whiskey. 6 hours out of 30 hours, not too long. The Longrow is produced with a complete drying time with peat smoke and the Hazelburn without. So we have a lightly peated whiskey. Time for a sip. There are miniatures on the market of the Springbank 10-year-old, and I always use miniatures so that I do not have to open another bottle. It's cheaper. We're very Scottish. Yeah. An aromatic, light, peaty nose on the top. And this makes this whiskey very interesting. It's no peat monster and it's no unpeated. It just has a little peat on the top, which does not cover the aromas below. It is an addition, an aromatic addition to a taste, and this makes the taste very interesting. The longer you sniff in the glass, the more peat you taste, the more smoke comes out of the whiskey. And behind that is a light oiliness, buttery. I do not like butter, but on the nose it's okay. Oakiness from the back. So the Cask Selection for this 10-year-old, which was produced after the year 2000, has been good, so that in 10 years' time already a definite amount of oakiness is present in the whiskey. Going over to chocolate, to plain dark chocolate. Yeah. Strong and intense, 46 ABV. I think it's non-chill filtered, definitely uncolored, and a strong aroma, spiciness, nuts, and warm, very warm. And for a 10-year-old whiskey, a lot of oakiness in the back. Yeah. So the most important thing on this single malt whiskey is the fabrication completely inside the distillery. They buy the plain corn, they are producing the malt themselves, they soak the corn, then they spread it and they germinate it, and in the end they bottle it themselves on the premise in the bottle. So there's a lot of manual work in the whiskey, and this results in a slightly higher price for a 10-year-old. So you do not expect to have a cheap whiskey here. No, all the manual work, all the tradition of the distillery reside in this whiskey, and they are asking for 5 to 10 euros, dollars, pounds more than a typical 10-year-old whiskey would cost. Mint, vanilla from the cask, very deep covered. A little saltiness appears in my mind. Long and warm. Thank you for watching Whisky.com, and stay tuned, there's more to come. And please, if you like this video, give me your thumb up. Thank you for watching.